forgiving thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? All you get is pain. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Whoops. You didn't hear that, YouTube. And now I'm a believer. Just pretend it didn't happen, YouTube. Between you and me. Total secrets. I'm gonna get in trouble for that shit. It's alright. It's fine. Okay. So we are getting situated here. The Patreon post should have gone, which means I can do the Discord post. All my dreams, I saw her face. And yeah, music is at the link in the description of the video. Same place it always is, hasn't changed. You'll notice that there is now the Discord present underneath my face. Trying something out. It's probably going to stay that way. It's a good way I can have you guys show your arts and crafts and stuff that you're working on can appear down here. And I think I'm also going to kind of have the chat right along there. Might be we'll put it back on screen finally, and I think right here is a good spot. And then I can just zoom out a little bit and bring the camera down so that it's not covering my face. But for now, we'll leave it there. And today we're going to be painting Link and Epona Fireside. That's the plan. That was a suggestion from the Divine Rose. Threw that out on the Discord quite a long time ago. I've been gradually working my way through these. And this is the one we're on today. There were 5 of them total I was going to do, and this will be number 3. 3. Thumb in, Austin, for 3. 3. And yeah, after this, it's Scotty as a bean fighting Phoebe as those screaming birds from Hollow Knight. And then the last one will be Teemo from League of Legends in a custom skin of my choosing. And I think I'm going to dress him up as, probably as my turtle Steven that I used to draw all the time. I don't know if I've ever even really drawn him on stream before. But we'll do a Steven drawing one day. Today's not the day. Today is Link and Epona. So hopefully this new screen layout is working. I think it is. I kind of just crammed this together before the stream started, but it looks like we got the microphone. In media input wise, my stream has gotten a lot simpler. So. And I've also ditched doing a full display capture for Photoshop because it's not like I'm running tutorials here, and this is kind of a nicer look. So you can still see the painting I'm working on, but you don't get all of the like step-by-step Photoshop work. I'm not an expert anyway, so like I'm not the guy you want to learn from. So I've decided that the tutorial-ish element of the way that I would talk about some of this stuff is going to go the way of the dodo. So, you do have window capture, but images that pop up, and windows that pop up, and like file storage stuff, you guys won't see any of that. You can only see the Photoshop window itself. So anything that's a pop-up or an overlay, there's sawdust in my eye. Anything that's a pop-up or an overlay is not going to show. Just FYI. Okay, so let me make sure I didn't fail to post any of my stuff. So Discord notification went. That's good. I'm getting better about this stuff, but I still need to check it out. Patreon notification went out, and connection is live. Okay, I think we're officially good to go here. Okay. So Link and Epona Fireside. I kind of have a spot in particular in my mind that I think would be kind of cool. It's an area from Twilight Princess. And Rose didn't give me any specifics when it came to like the environment or anything like that. I do think I want a black background as a starting point, which means, yeah. Let me rearrange here. Let's get us recentered here. There we go. That way with the black background we can still see what's going on. Oh, interesting. This is just me checking out my new situation here. Yeah, alright. Well, that's fine. We'll work with that. So, this is still centered in your view, or it should be more or less. There. That'll work. We'll stick with that. Okay, so I am going to start with a black background. Just because I think that's going to be a nicer place for us to start. And the whole reason Rose suggested this in the first place was so that I could get some practice with lighting direction and stuff like that. So, and I agree that I need that practice. I don't think that's what she was implying, but she's not wrong if she was. So, that's a different project. You can't see it. So, the location I'm picking is from Twilight Princess. And let's sort this out here. So we want to lock this layer, make a new one, and I'm going to take a white pencil or a white oil brush or whatever it is that we're working with here. We're going to think about some area dimensions. Okay. Let's say that's kind of... I'm not going to look the place up. I'm going to actually try and do this from memory. And if it doesn't come out exactly right, I think we're just going to be okay with that. We're going to kind of customize the look of this a little bit. So for right now, we're just kind of roughing in the terrain layout. And honestly, I think this is correct, but I want to scale it up a bit. Put us kind of here. Maybe I can do... Ah, there we go. There we go. Now it'll be snapping to the right spot again. Perfect. Perfect. Now you can see a little better down there. Okay. kind of set that like that. And I don't know, you might kind of recognize what I'm doing already at this point, but I would really be surprised. The area is in Farron Woods. I actually don't really remember huge amounts of detail of what's over here, but I don't think it's going to matter. I know this guy has a pretty nice bonfire that, like, these aren't curls, this is like me just kind of roughing in. It would be like surrounded by stones. And then there'd be the fire itself right here. And then man's little hut is over here. Right, with its little kind of hut business going on over there. I feel like I need this to be more of a shapely, large feature of the area. So what I want to do is we're going to not use that environment sketch. We're going to keep in mind where we are, and we're going to make our choices based on the foreground, which is the smart thing to do anyway. And I'm going to say, like, man's house should be right here, kind of tapering down this way. This works for me for now. That's a better line. Alright, so say that's just, you know, right in front of your face there is the hut, and then it kind of has this little patio that comes off of it. Like, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I want to say it starts with a B. I keep wanting to say boonies, but that's not what I'm talking about. I can't think of the word. But, you know, like swamp people. You know what I mean? Okay, and then this needs to open up as it goes by. So it should be like that. And then we would get rid of the visible lines down here. I can't think of what the word I'm trying to say is. I don't know, but like where everything's kind of up on sticks. But I don't think boondocks. I don't think that's kind of what I'm trying to say. That's not what that means. So he's got that thing. I don't know if it's quite that tall. So maybe we cut it down to like here. Make it a bit of a shorter affair. Something like that might do. That feels better. Okay, and then out front, homeboy's got this like fire pit right here. And then he's got his kind of bench thing that wraps around. It's mostly just like we're going to make it a stone. I don't actually remember what his chair, seat, bench, what it's comprised of. I don't remember. But we'll make it work. Oh. We've lost all of our stuff here. There we go. That's where we're supposed to be. Must have hit a cut key. Must have hit a hotkey for that at some point. Not sure how. Oh, and I also entered quick mask mode, which I don't want to be in. There we go. Okay, so we kind of got the we got the swamp going on there. I'll bring my monitor out for myself a little bit here. Alright, so yeah, I know we kind of have this. This feels better. You know, and like it's gonna be made out of these stones. But see, that, I mean, that was one of those things that I talk about a lot, where, you know, we talk often about how it's hard to get yourself to actually start making something. And I mean, I started and I was just completely dissatisfied with the direction we were going. And so took the time, deleted it, started again, but because I had already just kind of taken a shot in the dark, I knew roughly where I wanted to be. So that meant that we went into the next one with a little more accuracy, and that's a good thing for progress. This is totally working. I feel way better about this. I feel like I paint faster now that I've been painting so much more. You know, I can trust my instincts a little bit more. The practice has done a lot to make me not so, I don't know, not so nervous. It's easy to get nervous, even when you're just making something for yourself. Okay, that's a better start. We're gonna have a character in here that's not really supposed to be in here, but he belongs in this scene. And I think what we're gonna do is we are going to have his little seat here, but he's not going to be in it where he normally is in the game. If you're not clear on where this is yet, this is the location in Farron Woods where you get the lantern. The dude with the, I think he's got like kind of froey hair. At least we're going to draw him with froey hair. Maybe I'm mixing him up with the woman that runs the boat thing. I know she has froey. She got like the big swooshy fro every time she moves. I'll be right back. Don't you just love the absolute excess of robocalls now? It's just wonderful. Alright, so we're not going to include the guy yet. But we know there's going to be fire here. Alright, we know that's there. On another layer here with a red pen, I'm just going to say we'll have a character here with kind of a leg up on the thing. Okay, lean him against the wall. We'll put his shoulders right there. This is where we're going to put our dude, who's kind of got like a big bean head. And his fro. Okay, there's that guy. I'm pretty sure he had like shorts and stuff. We'll improvise with the detailing on him. And then I think I'm going to have Epona laying in front of the fire right here. Just kind of curved around it this way. Like if we can, I don't know if we can do it and have the posture look right. Just kind of lay her like this. And you kind of have the puffed up shoulder with the folded in hoof. And we'd kind of splay out her tail. Yeah, it might be possible if we just like move her a little bit. I think if we put her there, scale her down just a bit like that, just put her right about here. That's where we want her. And then we can make it look like she's curled around the fire. And then what I kind of want is, like, I want Link kind of in this space here. Just with kind of a shoulder out, you know, and he's got his elf ears, so we can recognize that's who we're looking at. And it goes in, and we have the neck coming down. He's got a pretty thin neck. Still too wide. And then you kind of have the shield on his back like that to help sell it. Although I don't even know what shield. I think you have the Ordon shield at that point. I don't remember what the icon is on that. It's like an Ordon horn or a spiral or something like that. But we could do some really nice edge lighting on him here. You know, just kind of go in and have these highlights in here on the ends to kind of help define his shape. Doing stuff like this will help really sell the figure. kind of catch on there and stuff like that. And we do the same. Epona will have something like that going on and catch it on the edges here and on her hoof and on her tail. Same with guy. Just where they're facing the fire, they get hit by the light. And Link's just like, in my mind, Link's just like brooding, He's thinking about what's next. Probably some edge lighting, like, on the guy's fro. Something like that. Now it leaves this big negative space here. But that's where I think we can add a little bit to this, So what I can do is I can go back to our... Actually, I'm going to make a new layer. And I'm kind of thinking, yeah, well, sure. I'm kind of thinking, we've got our kind of landscape back here. Let me get a smaller brush so that I can kind of distinguish between these two. Where it would just kind of go like this. And he's got this kind of cliff that goes back behind his house. And there's also one kind of down further that way. Right, and then I'm going to clean that up because we won't actually see it wrap around like that. It would mostly just go like this. And that also has a cliff in it. So that's the original landscape that I did draw at the very beginning, but we've just brought it in a way that now fits the scene and fills the negative space that we needed filled. We're also going to lie. We're going to change some things up just in the name of aesthetics, because generally what's actually over here is a rock face that can be blown up by Link, and we're going to leave that there, but we're going to pretend that this is the original spot that the bird station was set up. That's kind of what I'm thinking might be cool. So that's kind of got this thing going on. Kind of cutting across like that. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that. Because if I just put this table over here, right, and then we have, like, I don't know, some kind of fastening on the wall that holds his because he's hanging in this, suspended bird cage, right? So if we just drop something like that in here, just like that, and then we can put the cage lines in like this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes. So it's still just a sketch, obviously, but we're starting to see some shape. So we're going to pretend this is like the earlier version of that station. And we're just going to put one pot of something on the table. Pot of something. Who wouldn't want to buy a delicious mystery pot of something? So I'm just going to rotate a little bit. And this stuff is going to be in relative darkness. We're going to call that circle good, or that oval good enough. Okay. And then finishing touch, I wanted to put, let's do the defining shape here. So there will be one of the Midna portals right here. We're just combining a bunch of Farron Woods landmarks to make kind of an amalgam, like a medley in this one picture. So it's not necessarily accurate to the game in terms of where everything's located, but it'll be distributed in a way that's pretty. More fun to have a little fun with it, if you ask me. I do want to, like, this little edge here needs to continue up, and same with this, which means that part goes away, and so does that. There we go. Start to get the cliff shape in there. Okay, we're off to a very good start here. I'm pretty happy. Right on. Okay. So, I think I am going to add one of those, like, Twilight Guardian creatures, you know, just the big stone-faced tentacle monster things. I kind of want to put one, like, I think it might be cool if we just kind of had his, you know, they've got those big creepy hands, so let's say he's got fingers reaching around the side here, and then you can just kind of barely make out his big face thing. Creeping out from behind here. I don't remember if they have tentacles like this coming out from behind the masks, but I feel like they do. This is very rapidly becoming my own interpretation of Twilight Princess. I think we would lower the hand. Let me just cut that off of here and move it. We'll put it like there. All right. And then if I go back to our terrain layer, in the very, very, very background, we will be just able to make out the back side of this, which should be lower than that, something more like that. And that would include this as well. And the bridge I think I want to include the bridge also. So that's where we'll say that lives. Right in there. Just like that. So that gives a rough idea of where we're going with this. I've taken the prompt of Link and Epona by the fire and turned it into a Farron Woods medley painting. I think that's where we're going to go with this. So this is going to be my baseline sketch that we'll use to flesh everything out. And we'll move on from here right as soon as I get back from going to the bathroom. Be right back. Alrighty, back in action. So, now it's time to start trying to bring some color to this. So all these sketch layers we're just going to flatten down into that group, and then I'm going to lock the whole group, And everything from here on out will be between the sketch layer and the black background. And we're just going to start with landscape. Today's stream is going to be 3 hours long. When I switch to noon, these streams will start being 4 hours long. Excuse me. One moment. Hey! How's it going, Moody? It's very dark. Yeah, I'm doing a black background today. How you doing today? Let me just answer this really quick. Sorry, it's Emily and I are making dinner plans. Okay. How you doing, Moody? What's going on? Perfect. Okay, good to go. Uh-oh. Well, I'm assuming you can hear me. Oh yeah, you can. Doing all right. Just played a long game of League and checked what the notification was. Oh, right on. How was League? How'd you do? That's on my list for one of these drawings. Now this is going to be mostly green, but I'm going to baseline all of it with brown so that anywhere something's peeking through, that's what we're looking at. Didn't do very well, but got carried to a victory by your top laner. Right on. That's a victory, man, as far as I'm concerned. That counts. I might as well just fill that in. I think a win is a win regardless, Moody. I think you should tell people you won and skip the details. Okay, and then something a little tanner, a little more desaturated, a little grayer as well. That's what we're gonna make all of this. Okay, that's all going to be the same color as well. So far things have actually come together pretty well. But what I've basically done here is made Rose's suggestion back in the commission submission channel was that I make Link and Epona by the fire, and that has kind of snowballed into Link and Epona standing next to the guy in Farron that sells you the lantern, and I've also moved his bird companion over here, and I've moved the bridge over here. so that I can kind of have an amalgam image that's just kind of representative of Farron Woods. Okay, something a little more wooden. A little darker than that, though. Darker still. That's where we want. Kind of get the implication of the shape, and we'll start getting more detailed as we go. But it's already starting to come to life. Found some old Polaroids recently in your grandfather's and great uncle's stuff. All the film for the older model was stuck together and unusable. You have new film for the SX70 coming Saturday, though. Well, those would be some cool pictures to see. I can't wait to see those. Old Polaroid cameras are so fun. Okay, it's starting to take shape for us here. I know that because I'm starting with opaque layers of everything, the black background doesn't actually matter. It's not relevant, but I feel like it helps me start from the right place. Even though I'm not really using it for what you normally use a black background for. Okay. And then I guess this isn't our landscape, this is our environment. SX70 film is kind of weird. It has a battery in the film pack itself instead of in the camera. That is weird. Yeah, I don't know much about old cameras. So what have you learned about it so far? So this is also going to be wood, but we're going to desaturate it because it's old wood. His is old also, but it's newer, so yeah, whatever. So we're going to say that, oh, okay, not quite that gray. Still needs to have some wood color to it. Okay, there's the bridge section right there. All right, off to a good start. You know, I've been at this less than an hour, and we're already here. I think we're doing pretty well so far. I'm definitely getting a lot faster. Trusting myself more. That they don't make the Type 108 film anymore. Oh, I think that's just an extra that. They don't make the Type 108 that you need for the Colormatic and Colormatic 2. So only, how many cameras did you find? So you two Colormatics, and then you had, I don't know what the model of the camera is, but the one that's taking the SX70 film, or is SX70 the model of camera? Okay, and then some really like dark dirt as our kind of base color. Oh, even dirtier, like blacker than that. There, no, that's just gray. I need to go down here. Deep brown, that's what I want. There we go. It's a pretty color. I really like me my earth tones. Well, that's that, and that's why I'll be very much enjoying the making of the felted red panda. Great color palette. SX70 using... The one that uses SX70 is a Presto. Okay. You also found an old Canon and Kodak canister type camera. Very cool. That's pretty sweet. This is definitely starting to come together. It's going to feel like the palette's going to feel all wrong until I start adding in the greenery all over all of this environment stuff. But that's okay. One thing I know for sure is that I already want to push this further back, so we're going to darken it. And I'm just going to push this all into the background by using a darker color. I'll just push that into the background like that. Already makes it feel deeper in there. Then we take this and we can kind of let's not go quite as drastic yet. What kind of brush am I using? We're gonna switch to that oil I've been liking now that we've got our color blocked in. Well, I'd like to see some pictures of some of that stuff, Moody. I can change the Discord channel that's showing, so you can drop it wherever. Right now, Arts and Builds and Crafts is what's showing. But if I just change Windows, it'll change. The Steam summer sale started today. I did not know that. No. That's important information. Okay, so need a darker color to mix in here. Because I want this area to be darker. I'm going to start... We're going to use a smaller load every time. And I'm going to bring the brush size down just a bit. Put it right here. Well, I'm definitely going to have to check out the sale. You ready for Overcooked on Saturday? That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to pull this darker brown out here. Oh, I want to listen to that right now. Okay, so that'll clean up. Alright. Don't mind the other clutter from clearing the garage. Alright. Oh, dude. Very nice. Look at that. Oh, that's a really good haul, man. Congrats. That's pretty cool. Well, I can't wait to see the photos you're going to take with them. Okay, I think I even want some darker shadow all the way in the back here. I've been liking painting so much more than drawing just because of the way that the detail just kind of emerges in a way that I find very satisfying. I mean, we're not there yet, you know, the detail's not emerging yet, but starting to get little bits. Really hope the Presto works. It's the only one you care about from the group. I'm sure I have very high hopes for you. I mean, old tech will often pleasantly surprise you. Before the days when everything had a planned date of obsolescence. We live in a weird time. If it doesn't work, you might just buy yourself a new Polaroid because you refuse to be debated. Yeah, fair enough. Don't let the camera win. Okay, brighten this a little bit, and then I'm just gonna add some detail. All of this needs to follow the radius of the fire. It's kind of important. Need that to spread out into there a little bit. Okay. This is working. Okay, I need to put some dark up against the edge here. You heard some rather unfortunate information recently. Oh no. Uh-oh, what do you got for me? Lay it on me, I'm ready for the bad news. Monkey Ball Step and Roll actually has a 7th bonus world. That's harder than the rest of the game. So when are you playing it? You call that unfortunate news. I call it great news. Got a machine head, better than the rest. Green to red. Don't know. You've been doing a lot of physical work lately, so you haven't been feeling up to subjecting yourself to it. Yeah, fair. Fair. I can't really argue with that logic. You've been doing all that work in the garage and everything. How's that coming along? I mean, I saw some of the mess there, but last I heard, you were nearly done. Plus, it being over 90 every day doesn't help. Yeah, definitely not. It's going to look so much better after all the green goes in, but so far, so good. I guess I'm going to have to cast a huge shadow with Epona in order for this to make sense. Although the fire is kind of reaching up over her, which makes her a very small horse. But that's okay. Her proportions might need to be slightly adjusted. We've now packed everything from your past great-uncle's house, went through and sorted everything in your garage, and have to move everything from great-uncle's to here and sort it again for sale. Oh boy, so you've made a lot of progress, but there's still quite a bit to go. But hey, at least you've made a lot of progress, right? That's good news. Well, and it sounds like your great-uncle's stuff is going to be getting some new life, which is always a good thing. Step 3 out of 4, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's... You're definitely a good portion of the way there. I feel like this needs a lot of darkness in the corner here. Final sort before selling everything we can and donating what we can't. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a process. I mean, for me personally, that sounds like the worst part. But it kind of depends on your personal preference, what kinds of work you don't like. Stuff like that, though, that's just sitting and... I would be happy with it if my job wasn't to do the actual sorting, you know? Like, if my job was to do mindless busy work, I don't like busy work that requires my brain. I like to be able to drift off while I'm doing busy work. If it's sorting, then I have to be present and it's tedious, and the combination of those two things bothers me. Because I come from the land of plenty. Push that over there a little bit. There we go. One bummer about it is there was an organ in his house and you'd love to keep it, but you already have a piano and have nowhere to store an organ. Oh, that's a shame. It's a beautiful instrument. Did you manage to get a picture of that? Totally fine if not. It's just I'll never recover. I do kind of want to draw that out there a little bit more. There we go. Don't have a picture on hand, but you can get one next time. Yeah, please do. I'd love to see that. Okay, and then something lighter to kind of cut into it. Lighter even. Alright, Godspeed, sir. See you shortly. So far, I'm pretty happy with this. I think the ground is starting to take shape. I think we're starting to see the patterns that I wanted to see. I think I need to be a little more bold here and drop in some... Whoop! Don't want to pull from outside the screen. That makes some weird stuff happen. Using a wet brush, so it's very much drawing color data from wherever I place my brush down, and if I place it off screen and pull in, it doesn't have any color data to pull, so it smears that weird blue color, and then that's just there. Okay. We need some of the dark around here also. Again, we have something meeting the ground. I'm trying to follow shading a little bit while I do this, even though there will be a shading pass over the top after the fact. Just because I think it'll make it a little more of a uniform image. Every time I drop in one of those shadows, I'm just using a little bit of the lighter colors to help me kind of draw it around and clean it up and make it feel less smooth. And it is doing some slightly strange stuff to our, like the perceived shape of the ground. It's making it look kind of almost bubbled in some places. So I'm trying to be careful of that. And keep the shadows really where I want them. I think it'll look better when we have more. Nope. There we go. Not great that this happened. I'm just going to dry this out really quick so that I can just color over this. The wetness is just how much it'll pick up the colors underneath. Again, I'm just trying to do some of this. Oops. Again, pulling in that color that I don't want. Doing the same thing here. And it's a little too heavy-handed at the moment, but if we mix in some other colors and then start smearing it, it'll get the same look as everything else we have. It just takes time. And haven't done it yet, but we're also going to add I'll go through and add a splash of gold throughout the areas that are closer to the fire. And there needs to be some dark added in for contrast, because that's what happens. You know, you see the highlights on the ground because there are pits that are dark in between. So and I will go through and add pebbles to this and everything. Give me just a second. But for now, we're sticking with the smooth shapes. Just kind of guiding our lighting direction and pretending it's just covered in mud, basically. Alrighty, back in action here. So, yeah, as I was saying, it's all being done with smear lines right now, because there aren't any rocks in it yet. It's basically the way to think about it. Like, it's just mud. So we're going to add a little more gold here. Right in next to the fire. Again, just more of the gold. And that just kind of goes in as a baseline so that when we go and do proper highlights, they don't feel like they're detached from everything. But this should still be mixed in with the colors that are always here. You know, the more earthy colors that we have throughout the entire ground area should really be what's dominating. But then I drop in that orange so that it stands out a little bit. Okay, and then over here, just going to do some blending. It's hard because I have like muscle memory to just switch up my swiping direction, you know, so that the blend looks even. But when I'm at the edge like this, I gotta not go that direction. Hey! Where'd you even get that? Alright, so let's undo those. Smooth this out a little bit. I like having that bit of yellow mixed in there. Okay, so that's the beginning of our ground. And then what I kind of want to do is I think we could stand to just draw a perimeter here. Not a super specific one, but just a perimeter that'll keep us out of most of our other stuff. So we'll trace all that out. All of that all the way around. Lola, you were just out there. Okay, and then connect that up. And then that is going to be the area we're working in, and I'm going to use a spatter brush to kind of add some pebbles and stuff. And we'll use a few different colors. I'm coming! Hold on! We'll use a few different colors to help establish that. What are you doing? Outside for a minute. Get some fresh air. Now, I'm not going to have very long before she's summoning me back over there again, but let me grab a spatter brush. Yeah, and there she is asking for me to come back in. Okay, so we need a spatter brush, and then I'm going to space it out a lot, which I don't think you can see, but that is what I'm doing. And so that is an exaggerated version of what we'll be doing. Okay. So yeah. I'm going to go back into the settings actually and space the brush out a little bit more. And we're also going to make it smaller. And right now I'm going to go really dark, basically black. And add in some of that detailing over in the back here. Especially along these edges. Put a lot of it down here underneath this. Whoops. Okay. And then we do also want a light spattering of these rocks. These darker rocks around the larger area. Okay, and then we'll take a mid-tone and we're following basically the same thing we did before, and it just adds texture to the baseline we already established. That's all it is. And if I wanted to be really careful about this, I would actually do a smaller brush further away and a larger brush closer, and I just don't feel like dealing with that. I think this is going to turn out fine. And a lot of this is going to get covered in greenery, so I don't care as much. Like if this was just going to be our ground on its own, I might feel a little differently. Like this is definitely not perfect. I'm not, pretending that's the case. But I think it'll work for our purposes. And then I want a really light one I can kind of spatter throughout. And then quite a few of them in close here. And then all of this smearing turns into dirt. And we're going to keep mixing in a few kind of other colors. You know, rocks of different hues or whatever. And some of the yellow ones up in close to the fire. That's turning into a good baseline though. How you doing?
Hi, cutie. Hi. Good, how are you?
Don't know.
Hi. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Hi.
Just a pleasant face to greet you when you get home, right? Okay, I'm adding in a little more of the dark now. See, this is starting to, and then we want the dark around the base of this, because that would be in shadow, right? And all of this combined with that nice solid underpinning that we had, you know, the mud layer that we did underneath all of this makes the spatter look way better. It does kind of end up with like a little bit of a gravelly thing going on, but it starts to look more like, you know, the ground. Okay, I need more of the dark over here. Over in this corner by Link it's just a little too bright. And we can kind of use that to really define the deepest shadows at the bottom of all this stuff. Okay. I think definitely in underneath here we want more of this. Alright, I feel good about that, at least for starters. And then we're going to get some more of that orange in here. I think I need the darker one, because it'll be right in here kind of behind Epona. kind of start implying her shadow there. Still need to balance it out with the lighter stuff so that it has more texture. There we go. Okay, and then I need the green that goes over the top. Which I think is going to be a separate layer. And I'm going to go back to we're going to go for the oil brush again. My favorite. Okay. And we're going to bring the load down. And now we want to get into some greenery. So we're going to get closer to yellow. And we'll start pretty dark. And I really just want like a very light amount smeared across the top. I know that doesn't look very light, but just bear with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this earth tone and then start mixing it in here. Nope. I had a lot of confidence in that gesture and it didn't work. I think low flow is what I want here. Yeah. So we're gonna go with the lowest flow. And just start implying this greener hue. And then we'll have more of the brown come out in some places and less of it in others. And we can use this to kind of define that. There is floor. Indeed, there is floor. Yeah, progress is happening. And now we're gently vomiting all over it. Only gently, though. Welcome back, welcome back. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, we're gonna bring the flow back here, and nope, not quite that high. Let's try like 30-ish. Oh, 30 exactly will work just fine. Master fingers up in here. And so this is happening on a separate layer. And is more like the smearage we were looking at originally. Okay, and then I'm going to get some dark stuff and smudge this all around. Man, I think I need to be ballsier. I think to get the look I want, I need to... I'm not going to be that much ballsier. Whoops. I'm going to duplicate the environment layer, lock the original and hide it, and then I'm going to paint directly on this. Because then we can actually smudge the grass in where I want it and have it blend with the right colors. Howdy, howdy. How are you? Oh yeah, one moment. Can I just drop some paint down really quick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I want that, and we want a little more load, and then we can just start bringing in some green. Oh, that's super smudgy. Okay, so I think really small brush and then a higher load. Yeah, that'll let me start doing that. Okay, so this is how we're gonna go about this. That's what I think is gonna happen. Okay, be right back. Okie doke. So anyway. This needs some more green. So what we're doing here is just going through with a wet brush. And adding in a little bit of just kind of implied grass. And then there are just small areas where the pebbles we already did just kind of poke through. Time to spill the chia bag on it, exactly. Yeah, and we just let those spots just poke through. And then our grass will kind of naturally follow the shading because it's mixing with everything we put down. And I can go through and add highlights and some actual little tufts of grass and some more detail, and it'll start looking more like Farron. Because that's the real issue, is just it doesn't look enough like Farron when it's all just dirt like that. That is starting to work, and if I go through in these in-between sections and just lightly push it around, it softens up the shapes, and things start looking a little more naturally blended. And we'll definitely be boosting this effect by having some like tufts of grass in the corners and just kind of throughout, really. That'll make a huge difference. But for now, it's definitely moving in the right direction. I really like doing environments. They're more forgiving. I mean, that's the real reason. Because I can just kind of, push this around, and eventually we're going to mosey up on a landscape. Did someone say tuft? Yeah, I suppose I did, didn't I? I need to redesign her. Not much. But I want that to look a little better for what it's actually going to be used for, now that I know. But she does need a redesign in order to make that happen. Well, I assume you're taking a break from the garage right now, so what are you doing? You still working on League, or what's the dealio? Just vibing. I can respect that. Got any artwork you're working on or anything? Not necessarily right now, just like in general. Well, it looks like I should have just trusted my instincts and painted right down onto the landscape I already had. Drew a sketch recently of turning a couple characters from a show you like into Pokemon trainers. Not sure if you'll ink or color it, though. Are you happy with it? Like, are you not sure if you'll ink or color it because you're not sure if you're satisfied, or because you just don't feel like it? Because I could understand both. Okay, and then I feel like some like really dark green on a drier brush. Just go through and kind of add it in here. It's fine, but it'll be a whole lot of work to redraw the whole thing and then do all the shading as well. Yeah, that is, I mean, I get you there for sure. I'm just kind of chilling with this landscape, imagining that I'm not at some point going to have to, you know, do the characters and everything else. But I'm going to get away with not doing it today. I can see it on my little Discord corner. Oh, dude, sweet. Very nice. Hold on, let me get my window up so I can see it better. Oh, right on. Yeah, I need to get that fixed so that when I full screen it, it looks better for you guys. But I don't know if I can make that work and still have it just look nice there most of the time. Well, that's a great drawing. So where are the characters from originally? Like, who am I looking at left and right? Is all we are. All we know is all we are. Ooh, that's very green. Let's use that sparingly. More sparingly. And then just some, like, darken the area that's kind of out behind Epona. Alright. They're both from an anime called Yuru Camp. The left one is Rin and the right one is Nadeshiko. It's a super comfy show about girls in an outdoor club that go camping together and explore Japan. Oh, that sounds very comfy. Just kind of a fun little romp. Just softening up because here there are, so I want to leave it exposed dirt, but I don't want those pebbles to be as visible as they are. I want to kind of muddy them up a little bit. And then we'll go through and paint those border stones, but not quite yet. Okay, that's giving me kind of a cool vibe. So how long have you been watching that anime? Is it something you just got into now and that's why you're kind of feeling like drawing it, or is it something you've been watching for a long time? Get kind of into golden yellow here and mix some of that in with whatever's happening over here. I know Benzagon is, because I just talked to him about this, I think, in the last stream, but were you a BoJack fan? I can't remember, Moody. Alright, I like the way the light is moving. It's not, like, super rigid. Like, it feels very loose. You know, like my perspective isn't clean. But I kind of don't care. I'm kind of okay with that. So I'm going to go through now and add tufts of grass. You especially love the soundtrack to the show. You bought both seasons' albums because it's just fun to listen to. You hadn't actually bought music before then, just listened on YouTube or wherever. Wow, so they got you to buy music for the first time. You watched Eurocamp Season 1 last year and Season 2 as it was airing at the start of this year. Oh, right on. So it's not over. There's expected to be more to come. You've never seen BoJack, okay. So I'm just misremembering them. Okay. Higher load, but a drier brush. And then our flow needs to be pretty much at the top. In fact, all the way at the top. There's a movie coming next. Oh, right on. Even better. Okay, fine. We'll do full load, full flow. They need at least some kind of two-tone thing happening so that they start feeling more alive. And it's like it is crazy to me how this stuff will just totally trick your brain. Like, I'll zoom out now, and those will look way more a part of the scene than they did a moment ago, and they do. Less than I was expecting, I'll be honest. But they were pretty good. Okay. So long as you can watch in theaters, if it doesn't take 6 months to a year for the English translation to be available otherwise. Oh, yeah, that's true. There's always that delay. While regular anime is usually translated within a day? Oh, really? I didn't know that was normally that fast. That's incredibly fast. Like, translated with subtitles, right? Not dubbed.
Is it just because it's some dude who got a copy of it?
What'd you say, Em?
Is it just because it's some dude who got a copy of it?
Yeah, probably.
Just like a really big fan. Just looks out for him.
Yeah, M's asking if it's just because it's some guy just gets a copy of it and gets it done. And I said probably. Yeah, dub is usually after the show is finished airing, but you're not a fool who watches dub. Yeah, I prefer the original performances in the small amount of anime that I've seen. Just feel like I'd rather hear, you know, the original work. As nice as the dubs are. Eh. It's all right. This is a huge weakness of mine. Is believable grass. And I think it helps to like try and root it into the ground. I know you're supposed to do. Like the bottom of it should kind of darken. But that's why I'm kind of just like working on this in the stream, is I wanted to just get it roughed out and play around with some of the stuff that's weak for me in landscape, which is something I really like doing, and so I'd like to be kind of more a little stronger across the board. Did those little green, dark green bases help? I feel like they do help. One show that you should only watch the dub for, though, it's called Ghost Stories. The anime flopped in Japan, so they told the American dubbing team to just do whatever they want to save it. Really? And is the American version decent? Or is it chaos? I think those little dark green bases on those made them look a little bit more planted. I think that's better. That might have been what was missing. So they turned it from bad horror show to a weird comedy show full of political humor? Oh god. What's it called? Ghost Stories? I love accidental content. So there you go. It's just light on the top.
No. Okay.
I think those look a lot better. They somehow just immediately look less slapped together. Got hiccups. Oh no, we're supposed to start with this color. Hi, Lola. I feel fine. So I'm curious, Emily, if I zoom out here and I tell you I'm drawing something from Twilight Princess, can you tell me where I am?
Are you in the clearing at Pharaoh?
I am in the clearing at Pharaoh. Did you hear me say that earlier?
No, there's a pot of potion there. Hey, hush.
I technically combined multiple clearings in Farron.
Oh, I see. Oh, because the bridge is there too.
Yeah, we've got the bridge, we've got the guy that calls you Bud. Or Bro, or whatever it is that he calls you. And then we've got his remote cell station with the bird I brought in here also.
I always forget that he and the bird are not in the same place.
Yeah, they're separate from each other. That's his satellite location. That's where he's selling his wares on the extended market. He's a smart businessman. Smells like Sting. Is that what I'm about to hear? Is this Don't Stand? Yep. There it is. Curious how you guys are doing with the mazes. Probably after the stream, I'm gonna check out your mazes. So I'm gonna have you guys like give me some coordinates so I can see what you're working with. You bought Cuphead today, as well as a game that you think sounds like a really funny stream. Well, Cuphead's a lot of fun, but I'm curious about that other one. What's the other one you found? Close to me, don't stand so close to me. I feel this. This is like the ballad of COVID. Why didn't we hear this song more during COVID? That feels like a missed opportunity. Maybe Sting didn't want to be permanently associated with a global pandemic. I can understand that. But they all sang Imagine at the beginning, and that fixed everything. Okay, yeah, doing those dark green bases really helps, for lack of a better word, root them to the ground. They feel much more a part of the environment. I didn't realize... So is that what I've been doing wrong all this time? Because I learned about that making assets, like when I was trying to make a Minecraft texture pack, which I still would like to do. There's so many things in the game... I'm just not committed enough to Minecraft to finish a texture pack for the whole game. If I were to do it, though, I think it would be better to do it more in the style of, like, those stones I was making. Where is it? Open recent. Should be untitled. It's like the only untitled I have, but where is it? There it is. This guy. You know, I think it would be more fun to do a texture pack kind of in this style. Like, just my art style. it would. But the other reason I didn't want to put the effort into that is to actually just paint a texture pack for Minecraft. The resolution would have to be so high that nobody would want to use it. It's called Airplane Mode, and it's a simulator where you take an entire flight. Wait, it's a simulator where you take an entire flight of either 2 hours or 6 hours. So it's a sim where you're in your seat on a flight, and you're just attending to yourself. Paint it and then downscale it. Yeah. But is that gonna... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get distracted here because, to be honest, I don't want to start painting people. And also, I'm just in a mood today, and so we're gonna get distracted. If I took this and then so we'll say okay, so we're now looking at scaled stones. And then I can still have that as a separate thing. Okay, good. Just making sure I didn't somehow screw that up. Because I'm still using these assets. Alright, so then if I took this, and then you just say image, canvas size, and this is 500 by 500. So Minecraft is 16 by 16, but like a 64 pack isn't completely out of the question. That's a reasonable one. A lot of people would be able to run. Oh wait, I do need to make sure it's the right kind of... I can't remember where that setting is. Preferences. Nearest neighbor. Oh, good. Preserve hard edges. Excellent. Nearest neighbors should be what we want. Okay, so we can edit canvas size, or image canvas size. There we go. And we're going to make this a 64 size texture pack. Proceed! Okay, and then I just want to take this and scale it down to fit. And I know we can't have the transparency in a Minecraft texture pack, but just as a for instance. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. It scales down pretty nicely. You know, like if that was chiseled stone or whatever, something, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully you got the chance to look at that. Tell me what you think when you get the chance. You can mess with the in-flight computer, your cell phone, read magazines, eat snacks, experience turbulence, and more. Well, that sounds like the most riveting thing ever. I think it would make a hilarious stream. Yeah, so I could see myself doing that, but I still don't see myself taking the time. You know what I mean? Like, I could see myself sitting down, doing one or two, and then deciding it's still too tedious of a process. I'd rather just make my own game, you know what I mean? I say just like that's super easy, but like the effort, the mental effort is not worth it. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean by now, I can't do any better, so. If you get bad RNG, you can even have a crying baby on the flight? Oh, God. Are you allowed to throw it out the window? Because if you can do that, if you can throw crying babies out the window in that game, then I think they've done it right. Sail across the stormy sea. Trying to keep these highlights on the grass, you know, facing the fire, seeing as that's our light source. And I think I've done okay so far. Honestly, not great, but okay. You don't think you can leave your seat, unfortunately. I mean, on one hand, that makes sense as the, like, premise of the game, you know? But on the other hand, I feel like we're missing the opportunity to throw some babies. Like, what a loss, you know what I mean? Like you never did before, feels like the first time. I think this is pretty good. The painting's done. I'm finding myself just not wanting to finish this right now, honestly. Like, I'm just not in the mood, you know what I mean? I don't know what else I would do, though. So I'm probably just going to keep going. But I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next. I guess I could rough in the stone faces. That would start making things feel more solid. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hmm. Well, I think the right move for the sky in Farron is to basically make it look like there's a tree canopy there. Because the sky is a tree canopy even though there aren't any trees, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not feeling this right now. Like, I don't have any issues with the painting. That's the problem. Is like, I think it's going in the right direction, but I'm not feeling it, and I don't want to go to anything more important than the ground when I'm not feeling it and cause a problem. So I kind of think we're going to just screw around. And we're going to open another 500 by 500. And what if texture? I mean, like I said, I am not doing a texture pack. But just to play around. What would be a fun block to do? To just play around. All the best streams start that way. That's very true. That's very true. What would be a good block? Something kind of unique. I don't want to do this. I'm going to screw around. Yeah. It is generally the sign that something interesting is going to happen, but I don't know if that's the case. What do we pick a block. Give me a block and I'll paint it. Any of them. Preferably something interesting, not like planks or something like that, because I've done planks so many times. That's like every time I've tried to play around with a style for a texture pack, I always start with planks. See, I don't hate the scaled down texture. Well, and especially, obviously, you know, from far away it starts looking the same. Okay, I'm torn between... I was thinking it might be cool to do, like, crafting table... Sand. Thank you, Moody. I was thinking it might be cool to do, like, the crafting table... Or... maybe, like, an end portal frame? I mean, I know those are obviously different textures on the separate sides, but... Or like a shulker. A shulker could be cool. Like if I took default shulker is kind of somewhere in this color range, right? Furnace! Ooh, furnace. I like that. Let's do furnace. That's something fun. It is gray, but that's fine. So we want an earthy gray. A dark gray, but an earthy one. Yeah, furnace works. We'll do that. Is there a top feature to that, or is the furnace... I shouldn't worry about it. What am I listening to right now? This song is from Eurocamp. Is it the theme, or is it just a song from Eurocamp? You like the Jackson 5 vibes of this one, yeah, and it totally does have that feel. It's a nice song, I like it. Anime's got great music. Just kind of as a general rule. But you said you like this one for its music in particular, right? It is the opening theme, yeah. It's got that feel. Of course, it's just like a minute cut of it in the show. Well, I mean, yeah. Just the whole song for the intro. Let's spend 3 minutes of every episode doing this. It's a bop, but no theme song is that good. Okay. Yeah, so my question here is if this scales down to 64 pixels, are these bars even spaced far enough? I'm not sure. You didn't realize that the songs we add are permanent. Cornifer is still in the middle of the playlist. Yeah, I was jamming to it earlier today before you got here. I think I could set it up so that it resets every time, but I kind of like it sticking. I think it's funnier that way. Then the playlist will just gradually expand and be just covered in memes and references and also music. Alright, so I'm going to make a small brush. So just as an experiment, I'm going to see like how much detail I can play with. What do these bars look like if I scale this down? Like, this is how I would do a Minecraft texture pack if I could. I would want the game to look like it was painted. You know, see, because those bars look, well, frankly, great. I'm amazing. But, but how do they look when I switch it up? So is this a sewer furnace? Yeah. Yeah, it is for sewage burning only. See, that's nice and three-dimensional. What happens if I say canvas size 32, oops. Do the thing, and then scale that down to fit. Yeah, see, that just becomes noise. I mean, that looks like crap. Looks like absolute crap. So I don't know what to do about that. Because that's the level of detail I'd like to have, which isn't even that much. Like, that's the thing, it's a 500 pixel texture. Or 500 by 500 pixel texture. It's just not that much. So, I doubt I will be doing a Minecraft texture pack, just because I don't like dealing with that. It's not worth it. Not sure. Not sure. Yeah, they go up to 256, but nobody uses them really above 64 because most people's computers can't support that. Like when you put a 64 pixel texture pack into Minecraft, some people's computers start sweating already. And I'm like super spoiled, so I don't have a good gauge. Okay, if we maxed it out, what would it look like? That would be basically cutting this in half. Right? Now that is doable. Okay, let's just not do that. Now that would work. So let's keep going down. What would the next size down be? 128? How does 128 treat us? $128 is also okay. 128 looks okay. So that's the next size up from 64, right? So am I doing a 128 texture pack? I mean, I'm not, but that's what I'd have to do in theory, right? And if I were to just paint at this resolution. Like, is that what I should be doing? Because then I could make sure it works. So it's for semi-true gamers. Exactly. Could I paint at 64? Well, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like, for the stuff I've done before now, I'm painting at my target resolution. And I just don't like it. It's not enough detail. Like, that's why I kept finding myself just remaking Minecraft's texture pack. Because there's really not much you can do at that resolution to have it evoke, you know, the things that they're supposed to be. I want a texture pack where you, like a 1 pixel texture pack, you know, where you water everything down to the average color across the entire block, and then that's just your texture. I think that would be hilarious. It could be a challenge way to play the game. Keyboard style, exactly. So should I try painting a furnace at 64? Should I try it? Let's try it. Might as well finish the 128 and shrink it to 64 to see how it goes. Nah, I had barely even started. I mean, I could redo what I was doing on the 128. We already saw what shrinking that down to 64 looked like. So this is now at 64 by 64. Okay. We saw 500 to 64. 128 to 64 is a less lossy conversion, so it could be a better result. But it's all trial and error right now, so no way to say. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to try painting it down at this level. Yeah, we don't really know what's going to happen. So I'm just going to futz with this and see what it does. Trying to add some noise into the darkness here, so that it's not just darkness. Okay. And then we perimeter with this lighter gray. Darker than the base color, lighter than the inside of the hole. Oops, no, just over one. There we go. Okay. And then if I were to put metal bars in, again, I go for like a sky blue. And then I get a slightly saturated gray. That tends to look like metal. And then this needs to be completely dry so that it goes down over the top. I want to do one pretty much smack dab in the middle. Maybe something like that. I almost kind of like the choppiness of it, but not quite to the degree that it's at right now. So like if we take some darker colors and a smaller brush, I can just kind of lay this down. See, the thing that I find ends up happening is I mostly just want to start putting paint down pixel by pixel. Oh, you just got Katamari from your friend. Right on. For a second, I was like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, yes, I do. We had a whole incident where I didn't know what it was, and you guys educated me. Okay, and then I can kind of clip this off. Sometimes I wish I didn't know. Okay, I'm not hating that. I will say, I'm not hating that. It's such a weird game series. Yeah, it is. It's very bizarre. But they're cool games. more accuracy with this. Okay, we've kind of highlighted the outside edge of that. What kind of monster do I keep in this jail? Fire. The creation of man. That's what I keep in this jail. Hi, Lola. I actually need to look up a reference image really quick because I can't remember what the top half of this looks like. Oh, that's right. It's just that, like, upper door. It's the blast furnace that has the bars in the front. I see. Well, I'm leaving bars because I like them. And it makes sense. Because it's a furnace. Okay, so we're going to take dark again. And then kind of want this to have a... It's just going to look like an off-brand Darth Vader helmet. That's basically where we're going to land it. You know, so it's going to go up and over like this. And then come down like that. Whoa, come back. All rise in the presence of Dark Helmet. So Calcifer, cool. No, too dark, lighter. I need more moisture. That's why things aren't working for me. So we're gonna bring that up to here-ish. Get back down into the nitty-gritty. I thought that was going on a little too easily. Yeah, doing it with this brush, with a wet brush, helps give these more depth. And just noise that makes them feel like a better Minecraft texture. Sure, maybe. I feel like keeping the bars just for the blast furnace, you know, that helps them distinguish between the two. I know that the blast furnace came after. It's not like it was the actual decision they made. But it does help distinguish between the two. I don't think that'll be much of a problem with this much detail. And plus, you could also use color palette to help kind of establish a difference between the two. Alright, there we go. And then it's got kind of that hard frame, and it's like the bottom of it's a stone slab, and the top of it is made of cobble, and then it's got that black frame on it. So I'd want to pick a darker black. I'm going to try and just give it a 1 pixel frame around the edge. Because I think that's enough, honestly. And then, because of the way I'm doing this, it will naturally bleed a little bit. Okay. And basically just kind of go across here to establish the stone slab. Just kind of bevel it on the edges. Okay, and then take those dark lines and make this top section into cobble. Again, clean up the edges wherever I made a mess. Should have done that part last, but whatever. Okay, and then with the very dark black, that in the middle of these cracks. See, when it's at this resolution, it almost feels like you like have to trust what you know about color more than you have to like look at what you're working on. And that's what, at least for me, that's what makes pixel art so weird. So I just am going to take a straightforward hard round brush, that is completely dry. And then, yep, that's what I wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna make my brush very small. Can't make it any smaller than 1 pixel. That's actually working so well that I need it to be less black. So we are going to bring the wetness up a little bit. So do you shove wood planks through the grates? I feel like you shove it through the top, right? Like you feed it in the top. I know that's not how furnace works, but the top is like where you're supposed to put stuff. Maybe the grate opens. How do you think it works in the blast furnace? That has a clear and obvious door in its design. How do you do anything in Minecraft? How do you chop down a tree and it stays standing? If you come up with an answer for that, I'll come up with an answer for my furnace thing. You think the Minecraft one is kind of like a pizza oven? Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. But I like the grate, so I'm keeping it. Yeah, fire on bottom, cook area on top. Yeah, I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. I just sunk cost fallacy. We're sticking with the design we have. Yeah, I mean, eh. I mean, I just kind of slapped that together in 20 minutes, but I don't think I have a future in Minecraft texture pack creation. I don't like pixel art that much. That's part of the problem. I'm gonna stare at this a little bit more and think about what I want to do next time. Which is probably to do the rocks and the bridge in the back. Speaking of Minecraft, Microsoft, Windows, did I hear about Windows 11? I heard that it's happening. I don't know anything about it. I'm about to shut down, so tell me, what's the news? What's the news? I want to hear. And in the meantime, I'm going to think about what I'm doing next, which is going to be... I think I'll do all the rock faces and stuff, and then the bridge in the background, and the Midna portal, like the Twilight portal overhead, and then maybe the sky. Because all of those things are pretty simple in detail, and when I pick this up again, I'll be a little more ready to go for it. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to look cool. It's just sometimes you're just not vibing on it, you know? Not in the mood. And that's just the way it goes. Oh, I got to remember to, you know, while I'm waiting for that explanation from you, I'm going to do that right now. I need to remember to make those other YouTube videos, the streams, make them live. Do 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 do. It's a thing that's happening. Supposed to be optimized for gaming. Sure. And also native support for Android apps. There's a beta build available for download today. So if it's optimized for gaming, how is it for editing? That's my question. Oh, and it's going to be a free upgrade from 10. Excuse me? Baking powder? That's pretty surprising. Oh, those notifications show up fast. Okay. Alrighty. Well, on that note, I'm going to be done for today. This is probably the new layout I'm going to be going with. I like being able to have the Discord down low, and a lot of our streams end up being you guys showing me stuff and talking and chatting about it, so then we can have that down here, and I think I'll put the chat back on screen, you know, so I'll zoom out a little bit more, put the camera down just a touch so that there's a little bit of dead space underneath me, and then we'll put the chat kind of just right in there, right along that moment there. So that's the plan. But that's gonna be it for me for today. I'll be back on Saturday, as you know, Moody. We'll be playing Overcooked 2, starting at 2 Pacific time on Saturday. And before that, I might be working on this. I might be running around the server and checking things out. I'm not really sure what I'm doing for the first leg of the stream, but second leg will be Overcooked 2 with Moody, who is watching right now. and then Benzagon, Pimpito, and myself. We're all going to play together and do a voice call and probably co-stream. I don't know. It depends on what you guys want to do. But that's going to be it for me for today. So thank you for hanging out with me, Moody. It's been a blast as always. Let me do the credits thing. Doink. I'm finally getting this stuff fixed up so I'll be able to do it smoothly again. I will see you around, Moody. Looking forward to Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let me do the whole shebang. Thank you, thank you. Yay, patrons. Yay. Hooray. Thank you, everybody. See you guys next time. Stay safe. Have a good rest of your day. It's been a blast as always. Tip your waitress. That's it for me.